They think they can disrespect you and get away with it. They smirk, they interrupt, they belittle, all while pretending it's nothing, just a joke, just friendly banter. But here's the truth they don't want you to see. Disrespect is a language. And like any language, it tells a story about who they are, what they feel, and most importantly, how weak they perceive you to be. Let's be honest, some people thrive on seeing others crumble under their words. It gives them a twisted sense of power, like a puppet master admiring the strings they control. And yes, it's unsettling. But here's the catch. The moment you let them know they can push you around, you've already lost. You've handed over your own narrative, your own dignity, to someone who isn't even worth the air you breathe. Now, most advice will tell you to stand up for yourself or say something. Cute, adorable. But here's the dark secret. Confrontation is often the exact reaction they want. They want you flustered, angry, desperate. They want the show. So if your goal is to actually win, to flip the script without giving them the satisfaction, you have to play a different game. First, understand the psychology behind it. People who disrespect are usually insecure, fearful, or desperate for attention. They disguise their weakness as dominance. Imagine a tiny, scared animal puffing itself up to seem bigger than it is. That's your disrespectful person in human form. They are loud, sharp, invasive, and yet fundamentally small. And the key? Don't feed that smallness with your energy. Let it starve. Here's the art of doing nothing and winning. Pause. Breathe. Smile, a small, subtle smile, the kind that says you know something they don't. When someone tries to belittle you, when they throw insults like daggers disguised as jokes, don't flinch. Don't react. Just exist. Silent, calm, unshaken. To them, it's maddening. They expect chaos, and instead, you give them nothing. That silence is louder than any scream, sharper than any insult. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about being passive. I'm talking about being strategic, observing, understanding the patterns. Every insult, every jab, every microaggression is a breadcrumb. Follow it, and you'll see their insecurities laid bare. The moment you start analyzing their behavior instead of reacting to it, you become untouchable. You step out of the game they are trying to trap you in. And that's power. Real, quiet, terrifying power. Here's another layer they never tell you. People who disrespect often do it in public to assert dominance. It's a performance. The more dramatic, the more attention they get, the more they convince themselves they matter. But the second you refuse to play along, the act collapses. Let them have their moment. Let them strut. Let them believe they've won. Inside, they feel empty. And you've won without a word, without a fight, without lowering yourself to their level. Let's talk about sarcasm, because it's a subtle weapon. Not the obvious, "Oh, thanks for that brilliant comment," which only fuels their ego. No, I mean the kind that drips so casually it's almost invisible. A raised eyebrow. A quiet chuckle. A comment so mild yet so pointed that it slices through their performance like a ghostly blade. They won't see it coming. They'll never admit it. But trust me, they feel it. And that's what counts. You've shaken their carefully constructed little world without ever lifting a finger. You might be thinking, this sounds exhausting. Isn't ignoring people just letting them walk all over me? Ah, the classic trap. Here's where human nature comes into play. People respect confidence more than confrontation. They fear control more than anger. By staying calm, by refusing to mirror their aggression, you show them you are not a participant in their game. And humans hate being irrelevant. They crave reaction. So by giving them nothing, you're playing chess while they're playing checkers. And chess always wins. But don't fall into the trap of thinking this is just about strategy. There's a deeper, darker truth here. Disrespect is a mirror. It reflects back your own boundaries, your own self-worth. It exposes what you will tolerate and what you won't. So by mastering your reaction, by cultivating this quiet, dark power, you're not just winning against them, you're rewriting your own psychology. You're training your mind to see the world differently, to see threats as opportunities and insults as lessons. You are becoming untouchable. Here's a practical move most people never consider. Keep a mental ledger, not of revenge, not of grudges, but of observation. Track patterns. Notice who disrespects, when, and why. This is intelligence. This is foresight. When you respond in a calculated way, if you ever do, it's precise, surgical, and utterly devastating. Emotionally and socially, without ever having to scream or lash out. And isn't it delicious to know that while they're running on impulse, you're running on clarity? And the final layer of winning without fighting, detachment. Not in a cold, robotic way, in a human, darkly aware way. Understand that their disrespect is a reflection of them, not you. It has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their fear of facing themselves. Most people never see their own flaws, so they project them onto others. The more you internalize this, the less anyone's words can touch you. You're untouchable. You're the storm they cannot predict. And when they try to escalate, when they push boundaries thinking you'll react, you don't. You smile. You walk away. You do literally anything else but feed their need for chaos. You become the enigma, the silent observer. The person they can't understand, the one they can't manipulate. That, my friend, is power. True power. The kind that doesn't need loud threats. The kind that doesn't need to yell. The kind that whispers to the universe, I am not yours to control. So next time someone tries to disrespect you, remember this. The world is full of people trying to make themselves bigger by making you smaller. Let them try. Let them fail. Let them show their insecurity while you cultivate yours. Confidence, clarity, detachment. And while they flail in the dark, you will glide through it with a smirk, untouchable, mysterious, quietly terrifying. Because the real power, the kind they will never understand, never predict, and never replicate, is the power of someone who can stand in silence, watch the chaos unfold, and know they have already won.